My. What does that look like? Bathtub gin. Well, it's not gin. It's some homemade wine. The two on the left I started a week ago today. And the two on the right I started about Wednesday of this last week. On the left we have grape. The second one from the left is a fruit like a punch. The one second from the right is, let me think, apple. And the one on the far right is just limeade. Now, I got a real simple recipe for these. We're going to go into the kitchen and I'll show you how I do it. And it's all over the internet for the most part, but part of it is my own. When I was a kid, my dad used to make wine. And he made all kinds, red wines, white wines, all kinds of stuff. But there was one time when he made a white wine, and I am partial to reds, especially dry reds. But there was a time when my dad made a white wine. And it was the best white wine I'd ever had in my life. It was a dry white wine, meaning not very sweet. And it was just an absolute excellent wine. Now, when I tell you what he made it out of, you're probably going to be shocked and maybe not believe me, but it's the truth. My dad made that wine, the best white wine he ever made that I ever tasted. I was in my teens at that time. That wine was made out of Bermuda grass clippings from our own yard. And that's what he used to make that wine out of. And it was excellent. You can make wine out of anything. Any fruit, anything. You can just, it's simple to make. And we're going to do some here in a bit. But you can make wine. I saw somebody making wine out of Kool-Aid. Some people go through too much work and use sometimes too much ingredients, and I'll explain that to you too, because you don't need very much anything. And it only takes about, I don't know, between 10 days and a couple of weeks to actually do its major portion of the fermentation. Up to a month, maybe 4 weeks, if you really want to give it some time. If you wait like 3 months on this stuff, it's all going to taste excellent. But most people drink it prior to that 3-month period of time. But anyway, we'll talk about that here in a bit. The Bermuda grass clippings. I couldn't believe it. And most of his friends where he worked, he was an engineer and a pilot before that, and in the Navy before that. But anyway, he made some terrific friggin' wine. And we'll get back to that in a bit. Okay, the wine we're going to make is going to consist of, look out dogs, it's going to consist of real simple items and not a whole heck of a lot of nothing. What we're going to use and what we need, first of all, is going to be a funnel. We need some yeast, just regular bread yeast will work fine. Measuring cup with some sugar in it. I'm going to use 1 cup of sugar. I'll explain to you why, because all the recipes say use 2 cups. An empty 2-liter container right there. And we're going to use, since I don't have this flavor percolating, fermenting already, we're going to use cranberry. Just cranberry, frozen cranberry juice. Now, a lot of people go to the store and they buy regular juices. Cranberry juice, orange juice, lime, all the juices, apples, all of them at Walmart is 99 cents. And that'll make, supposedly, one container. It'll take this and I think four cups or caps, whatever it is, 4 containers of water. And I'm going to use plain water. A lot of people go out and buy fancy water, and I'm not going to do any sterilizing on any of this stuff. This hasn't even been rinsed out. These are clean, and this is all dry ingredients. This is already should be sterile. This I just washed in the sink by hand, and the yeast I'm not going to worry about. There's no way to sterilize it anyway. Unless you boil it, then you've killed the yeast. So we're also going to use just regular bread yeast. Now a lot of people say go out and buy champagne yeast or brewer's yeast or this or that or whatever. You don't have to. You can make it just real simple, just using tap water. But some people like to go through the extra hassle and, you know, do all the stuff just so dress right dress. And that's fine. If that's what you like, if that's what you feel like doing, do it. I won't. I don't care to, because mine comes out fine this way. Maybe you need to do extra things to make yours come out right. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to dump the cranberry juice into there. No, I take that back. I'm going to drop all the dry stuff in there first. I'm going to drop the sugar in. That way the funnel won't be all gooped up if I drop that in first. I'll drop all the dry stuff in first, these two. 1 cup of sugar and a little bit of this, not even the whole thing, not even the whole packet. And I think you get like 3 of these for $1 or something at Walmart. And you might be able to get it that way at other stores too, Safeway or wherever you shop. But I'll put the dry ingredients in first, then I'll pour the liquid, the juice in, and then I'll put the water in to wash the rest of the juice out of the funnel, so everything's pretty much clean. Very little to do in the way of dishes when I'm done. Most recipes say use 2 cups of sugar per container about this size, not quite 2 liters, because what you're actually making here is about a gallon, a little bit less than a gallon. And so we're going to make less than 2 liters. It'll probably come up to about here when I'm done, just like the other 2-liter containers in the other room that we were at. But when we get done doing all that, I'm going to put in 1 cup of sugar. And the reason it's only 1 cup of sugar is because we're using regular bread yeast. And bread yeast can only do so much. It can only get the alcohol up to about 7 or 10%, somewhere in that area. I'm not a mathematician or scientist. So we since we're talking about 7 to 10%, this yeast will work fine, and 1 cup of sugar will work fine. If I put more sugar in, that means we're going to have more alcohol. Well, unfortunately, when you use bread yeast, which will work perfectly fine, what happens is your alcohol level goes up, but not with this kind of yeast. It will with a brewer's type yeast. It'll get it up to 15, maybe even 20%. That's awful strong stuff. I don't think 20%, but 10 to 15% anyway. But that's awful strong. So I'm going to use bread yeast. I've cut my sugar back in half, and this should take care of that just fine. It'll be not as sweet of a wine, and that's the way I want to do this batch here. So let's get started. Okay, I'm going to do the best that I can. But to tell you the truth, I'm not used to doing this, and this camera's pretty much right in my way. But I'll try to work around it. So, here we go. Dry ingredients first. First, I'm going to take the lid off of this bad boy. Lid's off. And I'm going to take the funnel. I'm going to put the funnel on top. I'm going to pour in my sugar. Now, you can just use regular table sugar. You can use brown sugar. You could use any kind of fancy sugar you want to. In fact, this one was from one of my girlfriends. I don't remember what you call it. I'll find out for you here in a second. Okay, it's called Zulka, Z-U-L-K-A, Azúcar Morena, pure cane sugar, but it looks different than the pure cane sugar you'd get at Wally World or someplace like that. And then this, you can put this yeast stuff in. You can put it in now, or you can put it in at the end. Some people just sprinkle a little bit on the top and call it good. I'm going to put a little bit in right now because I told you I put in all the dry ingredients first. It'll work. It doesn't really make any difference. People have been making wine since before the days of Christ. That's over 2,000 years. That's older than me, I think. Okay, you dump some of that in here, if I can. Doesn't take a whole lot. I put in just a little bit. Okay, a little bit, so that's fine. Next, I'm going to put in some water so I can shake up the sugar. The sugar, man. So let's put in some water. Okay, we'll stop there for now. Okay, then take this bad boy out of there. Put the lid on this bad boy. I'm going to have to take this out of the view of the camera because I'm going to be shake, 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 shake my booty, shake my booty. Try to dissolve all that sugar. Oh, shake, 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 shake my booty, shake my booty, shake, 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 shake. I wish you could see this. Okay, now then. Here's that bad boy again. Now what I'm going to do is open up this here cranberry juice, concentrated frozen cranberry juice. The reason I buy it like this, like I say, this only costs $1. You buy that already made juices in the store for this kind of a quantity, it's going to cost more than $1. I am quite sure. Okay, Il Funnel and pour it in. Okay, now I'll pour a little bit more water into this container. And it might take a couple of these, we'll see. And that looks pretty good. We'll call that good. I'll just add a little bit more from the water jug itself. Again, this is just tap water. I'm using a filter, however. It's one of those Brita, or I don't know what you call it. One of those things. Okay. And I put the lid on. And I'm going to shake, shake, shake again. Bear with me. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake my booty. Shake my booty. Okay, now, everything shook up on there. I'm not going to use any kind of one of those little air traps so that the carbon dioxide can escape the container and keep air from going back in. All I'm going to do, just like I did the ones in the bathroom, is just leave that loose. That's it. Air won't go in, carbon dioxide will now come out, and lo and behold, in about 2 weeks, we could have wine, but I'm going to let it go for at least a month. But after 2 weeks, what I'm going to do is screw that cap back on. Now, what makes this so simple is there's not going to be all kinds of floaty stuff at the bottom. Oh, there might be a little bit from the yeast, from the dead yeast, but not enough to worry about anything. There's not going to be fruit laying in there or anything like that. It's just going to be basically wine. And like I say, if you let stuff like this go for 3 months, again, the first first couple of weeks, leave this cap loose. Not that you can take it right off, but just loosely screwed on there for the first 2 weeks, let's say. After that, you can tighten down the cap a little bit and maybe take your bottle and burp it. You know, just crank it open a little bit, let the gas pressure get out, and then close the lid up again. That's after 2 weeks to a month. And then just let it sit somewhere, someplace preferably dark, preferably around 70 degrees. And lo and behold, you'll be surprised at what kind of good wine you can make all by yourself. Okie dokie, folksies. Guys, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'm going to try it. Walmart has these sodas. Sometimes they're, I don't know, 88 cents. Sometimes they're 67 cents. But here's a Dr. Thunder. This is a 67 cent for 2 liters. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up, I'm going to pour out, maybe 8 ounces of it. Not going to add sugar, not going to add nothing but yeast. And we're going to treat it just like the other wines. Now this is carbonated. I don't think that should have an effect. Carbonation is CO2, carbon dioxide, which is the same thing that the yeast is going to produce too. So here's going to be, this would be a total. You use just a fraction of 1 package of yeast, and that costs about, 35-40 cents a package or something. But I just use a little bit out of it all the time. And I've already made out of that little package that you get 3 for $1 or $1 and change, whatever. I've already made, let's see, I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bottles of wine we're making. So now we're going to try it on this Dr. Thunder and attempt to make wine for 67 cents plus whatever it costs for that fraction of yeast. And there's no sugar added. This stuff's got plenty of sugar. So we're going to try it. I'll let you know how it comes out when we're all done. Okie dokie? Okay, fine. 67 cents for 2 liters. Holy moly.